are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. A 31-year-old suspect turned himself in after Seattle police released surveillance images tied to the brutal killing of trans student Juniper Blessing, who was stabbed more than 40 times.
Busted sewer pipes unite a community? Eagle and Ramrod demonstrate true brotherhood.
A federal judge blocked DOJ efforts to access confidential records of transgender youth, criticizing the administration's campaign against gender-affirming care.
Long Beach's annual Pride Festival was canceled hours before opening over permit disputes, disappointing LGBTQ+ attendees, while the city's Pride Parade still moved forward Sunday.
More women are trying Clitoxin for stronger orgasms and arousal, but experts warn that scientific evidence is limited. Risks exist, and it is not FDA approved. All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Edward. It is Monday, May 18th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same models as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ+ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and of course, queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots, Happening Out South Florida.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor John Hayden. So happy to have you, baby. A journalist for 31 years, he now focuses on hyper-local reporting covering LGBTQ+ issues, including Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome back to the show, John. How was your weekend, boo?
You know, honestly, I kind of laid low a little bit this weekend. We've got Pride Month coming up, and we're in such a great space because Pride Month now sort of extends to the weekend before Pride.
Yes.
So it's like a 5-weekend thing. So I just kind of sit back, chilled a little bit this weekend, but I got lots done. I'm working on a whole bunch of stories, one of which we're going to get to here in a little bit, about how our community rallies around each other. So stay tuned for that.
I love that. I'm looking forward to that, and also looking forward to the fact that you're back at our table at least once a week, every week. I'm loving it.
I love it. This is my favorite hour of the week.
My God, that restraining order did not take.
It never does. It never does.
It never does. I love you, John. Welcome back to Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Kal Gajraj. Dr. Kal Gajraj is the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at Can Community Health. Dr. Gajraj is also a senior advisor at the US Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights, a professor at Miami-Dade College School of Global Business and on the Communications Council and contributor at Forbes magazine. Kal, so Broadway at the Box brings Tony Awards Glamour to Wilton Manors on June 7th. This is so exciting. Tell us what's happening out.
South Florida theater lovers can celebrate Broadway's biggest night at Broadway at the Box, an elevated Tony Awards viewing party presented by Harmony Waves and the Our Fund Foundation on Sunday, June 7th from 7 to 11 p.m. at Gray Box Theater in Wilton Manors. Guests will enjoy red carpet arrivals, cocktails, live entertainment, VIP experiences, and a live screening of the 79th Annual Tony Awards alongside fellow arts enthusiasts. The event aims to make Broadway culture more accessible while supporting local performing arts and diverse voices in the community. More details at harmonywaves.org or graybox.theater.
How exciting is this?
We're super excited about this event.
Oh my goodness. So Kal, I have never, God, we're gay. So I mean, hello, the Tonys, musicals, that's our life. You know what I mean? And if we hadn't already seen all the musicals up for awards, we're there shopping going, that's what I'm going to see next. That's what I'm going to see next year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've never seen anybody do a local Tony event like this. You know?
We always talk about, you and I have always talked about getting together to watch the Emmys or the Oscars or the, things of that nature. So it's like, okay, let's get together and watch the Tony Awards. And that's kind of how this event came about, because we have so many Broadway enthusiasts in our community and so many performers. We actually have a slew of performers from the local community who's going to be performing that evening. So Matthew Darren, several other performers who, Eric Restivo is going to be joining us. So there's a pre-show prior to the Tony Awards party. And then throughout the evening, we'll have performances as well. So the event's actually hosted by Patrick Galliano.
Oh, I love him. And his outfits alone can host the whole event, okay?
Yeah.
And Patrick is an exceptional host, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But his outfits can literally host the event.
Hosted it by itself. And then we have Joe Posa as Joan Rivers, who's going to be hosting the red carpet. So it's going to be a very, very cool experience for everyone who's coming. So we're encouraging folks to dress up, come out and enjoy the evening, and celebrate the Tony Awards and Broadway's best and biggest that night.
So, okay, I will be there, obviously, covering the event. So on the red carpet, does Joan, a.k.a. Joe Posa, interview me, or do I interview Joan, a.k.a. Joe Posa?
We could do both.
Ooh, a little flip-flop action?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bisexual action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I love that.
How many times did you get to interview Joan Rivers in your life?
Only twice before she passed.
There you go.
Yeah, I love
third
that.
time's the charm.
Yeah, third time is the charm.
So I heard from a little bird that there are 2 different types of tickets for this event. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the event encompasses the overall experience of it, because we have a red carpet experience that we want everyone to come and experience, walk the red carpet, get interviewed by John Hayden, talk to Joan Rivers. Of course, there's a VIP cocktail reception. So there's going to be hors d'oeuvres and a bar and, swag bag and things of that nature. The pre-show performance as well. And then we have the Tony Awards viewing party that starts live at 8 o'clock. So everyone is welcome to attend the viewing party at 8. But we want people to obviously come and support this. It's actually a fundraiser for Gray Box Theater. So the proceeds from this event will directly benefit operating the Gray Box Theater.
I love that. All right. So none of my friends see more plays than you.
Yeah.
Okay, you literally fly to New York and not tell anybody, right?
Yeah.
I will be like, where the F are you? Right? And, nowhere. I'm in Wilton. No, you're not. What play that you've seen, right, are you looking forward to seeing them perform or get an award or something like that at the Tony?
Honestly, the one I'm looking forward the most is for Best Revival for Cats, the Jellicle Ball. If anyone has ever seen Cats before, and as a Broadway enthusiast myself, I'm the first to say that Cats is the worst musical ever.
The original, yes.
The original.
Yes.
But the retelling of Cats, the Jellicle Ball, is now retold through the ballroom scene. And it is absolutely brilliantly done. The Broadway, the New York Broadway cast actually includes some ballroom legends that are actually in the New York show, which is really cool. So, but just the retelling of the story in a ballroom setting absolutely makes more sense than ever before. Now I understand the storyline for Cats more. So I'm really looking forward to that, seeing that. But I mean, yeah, I've seen so many performances. Chess was absolutely incredible. Every Brilliant Thing with Daniel Radcliffe is incredibly moving. Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York was extremely well done. But there's so many. So I'm really excited for that night, just to see a lot of the shows that I've seen this last year go home and win awards, and a lot of the folks I've been able to meet also, through my experiences of going to New York and meeting some of these actors, and then through Gray Box and Harmony Waves as well. A lot of these folks we've become friends with in the community. So I'm excited to see them carry a Tony home.
I can't wait to see the show. Buena Vista Social Club last year, racked up all the awards, and
that's
it was
coming
so
to Broward
amazing.
Center next season here in South Florida.
Can't
so
wait.
Those who have never got a chance to see it in New York will now have the opportunity to see that at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts.
Nice. So get your tickets now, because this is going to be a whole lot of fun. It's all about the Tonys, and Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Broadway at the Box on June 7th. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world-famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee. Welcome back to the show, Edward. So I was just enjoying my weekend, right? Just sitting back in my backyard with my dog, right? And I opened up my favorite magazine. It's the magazine that I can't live without. It is Bear World magazine. And what do I see there? But a story on the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida and your upcoming event. Did you know they were doing a story on you? How cool is that?
I absolutely did. Bear World magazine, I've known Richard Jones, who is one of the publishers in New York, based in New York, and they also have an office in, I believe, London. And so it was really exciting, that they wanted to partner with us around this concert and just really get it out there. And, they're so inclusive for being a bear community, and they're really doing a lot down here in South Florida for that. So it's really exciting. But yeah, our Pride concert now is a month away.
Wow.
Invincible. It's at the Arena on June 19th. You can go to gmcsf.org/concerts to find out all about it. We're honoring the 10th annual Remembrance of Pulse. It's with a world premiere composition called Amor Eterno. It's written by LA composer Sandra Choi, and we're really excited to premiere it. It's a 7-movement piece, and it's going to take you on a journey, basically of a little bit of sadness, a little bit of happiness, about the Pulse victims, and we're going to celebrate then in Act 2, and we're going to honor Juneteenth with songs like Stand Up. You'll hear songs. I forget all of the ones that are in the Act 2, but it's just going to be a very uplifting program at that point in the second act. So definitely come check it out. And I also have to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood. They're our Amplified Season sponsor. Also sitting next to my left over here, Can Community Health. Thank you, Dr. Kal Gajraj. We could not have done season 16 without their support. It's just been so wonderful. Also got to thank the Bears of South Florida. We also thank our new sponsor, Emerald Senior Care. They're a new sponsor that's come into this, and they're really excited to be a part of this concert. And also want to give a shout out to the Wharton Foundation, who gave us a lot of money to help make this composition come to life. No, really, you don't know how much you have to invest in terms of writing and composing and in 4 parts and for the orchestras and stuff. So we just could not have done it without them. And also for funding Arts for Hour too, to also promoting this program too. So it's been wonderful so far, and we're a month away, so we're getting excited. We're gearing up.
I saw Gabe. I had the pleasure of seeing Gabe Salazar at Benedict Cork at Gray Box Theater over the weekend, and he is pumped. He's ready. He's like, "You're gonna be there, right, Cal? You're gonna be there, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, we're gonna be there." Do you know what day it is? Look, let me check your phone. I'm like, "It's on my phone."
Put it in your calendar now.
Yeah, no, I mean, we really want the message to get out there. So hopefully, when people come and see this, they'll understand, the importance of, world compositions like this that bring this type of storytelling to life. So definitely check it out at gmcsf.org.
And of course, course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor. You know her, you love her. Her name is FayWhat.
Wow.
Yes. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, Black to Broadway, celebrating Black artistry with Jennifer Holliday, is coming up on June 6th. What is happening out?
Yes, on June 6th, Our Fun Foundation presents Black to Broadway, a live music experience at the Gray Box Theater, Wilton Manors, honoring the legendary Jennifer Holliday. The event celebrates Black excellence in Broadway through iconic performances from shows like Dreamgirls and The Color Purple, featuring these incredible talents of Lenora J, Antonio Edwards, Terry Dyer, and a whole lot more. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. A special VIP reception starts at 5:30 p.m. Look for more information at graybox.theater. And I am so excited about this. I mean, the Jennifer Holliday, my God, Dreamgirls, like any song that woman has sang has been just incredibly just dynamic and inspirational, you know, and like just to hear also to hear Terry and to hear Lenora J and Antonio Edwards, like, I mean, it's like, oh my God, the energy in that place is going to be incredible for that night.
I'm telling you, the gay fat kid in me is screaming over Jennifer Holliday, because when I was 11 years old, that was my first Broadway's experience, is going to see Dreamgirls and Jennifer Holliday in that. And I thought, oh, this is incredible. I want to be a part of that. And that stemmed my whole theater career, in just being a part of that world. So yeah, this is so wonderful, bringing and honoring such a wonderful talent like hers.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, and Black people have given so much to Broadway, to music, to everything that has to do with life, love, and joy. You know, so we should celebrate at every turn. So I don't know whose idea it was to put this together, but kudos to you. You know, I mean, I know that playlist must be crazy. You know, if you are ever anywhere where Lenora J is singing, you stop.
Yeah.
And you take it in. And it's like, she's got breathless.
She's got a gorgeous voice. You know, she's sung with the chorus many times as a special guest artist. And we're just so grateful to have her when she's available.
Yeah, no, of course.
Which ain't often.
No, it's not.
Often. It's not at all. And, you know, and Gray Box is just a perfect space to have this event at, you know. Mm-hmm. It's the right size. It's got the right acoustics. It's at the right place. You know what I mean? You know, the AC is incredible. We're good. I look forward to this,
yeah,
you know.
I'm really excited to host an event like this, especially giving access to the arts. And that's why spaces like Gray Box exist, to be able to not only give these performers a stage to perform on, the community access to, you know, Jennifer Holliday. Where else does that happen?
Yeah.
Except for Wilton Manors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I am telling you, I am going. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Black to Broadway with Jennifer Holliday. She's actually going to be there. I'm so excited. That's on June 6th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up trans rights. University of Washington murder suspect of a trans student surrenders. 19-year-old Juniper Blessing was found dead on May 10th inside a laundry room at Nordheim Court, a privately managed student housing complex affiliated with the university. Authorities say Blessing was stabbed more than 40 times. Court documents say surveillance footage shows a man disconnecting the laundry room camera before the attack. Seattle police released images of a suspect, and on May 13th, 31-year-old Christopher Michael Leahy turned himself in. A judge found probable cause for first-degree murder with a deadly weapon. Leahy is being held on $10 million bail. As the investigation continues, LGBTQ+ organizations are planning a private campus vigil in Blessing's memory. Seattle Council member Alexis Mercedes Rink called the killing devastating, adding that Seattle, quote, must serve as a refuge for our trans neighbors who are fleeing regions trying to erase their existence, end quote. 40 stab wounds. You know, that's not violence. That's hate with a body count right there. Trans people deserve more than thoughts and prayers, folks, and hashtags after the fact. Protect trans lives while they're still living. Period. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Period. Find out who did this. 40 times? That's just, I mean, and one time, it's a horrible story all around.
Well, it is a horrible story. The light that I'm sort of taking away from this is it got solved.
Yeah.
You know, the police, because how many of our trans brothers and sisters murders go unsolved?
The stories we don't know.
About 85% plus the ones we don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So thank you to the Greater Seattle Police for following up on this. And then what I find disturbing aside from the entire crime itself, is that we saw the still shot of the suspect looking into the camera, and it's what I didn't see. He didn't look particularly crazed. He didn't look like someone I would cross the street to stay away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it disturbs me. I don't know what to extrapolate or take from that. That's just my comment.
No, but that's enough. You know, it's sad, but nobody at this table is trans.
No.
We don't know what that experience is like, okay? And you shouldn't or even try to say you do, because we don't, you know?
We don't know what that fear is like. I know for each other, like, we're all friends outside of the studio, and, you know, like, Faye, like, where we're at events, like, I always make a conscious effort to walk you to your car, you know, at the end of the night. And it's just something that I do because there's always safety in numbers. But I fear for our trans brothers and sisters, because it's extremely scary, because what if it happened to one of us?
Well, what if it happened to one of our trans siblings, okay? Every time Trump opens his mouth, he says something negative about trans folks, all right? Someone, right, listens. Someone thinks that's fact. Someone believes what he says and believes the rhetoric that he spews.
And they have to take action on it. That's the worst part about it.
And it's getting scary everywhere. You know, when I first hear Seattle, I think, oh wow, how inclusive and how how wonderful.
I think about
and that too. You know, but you know, you just don't think that something like this would happen there. But you know, we're not safe anywhere, and that's really the reality. You know, it doesn't matter how blue the state is. You know what I mean, or where you're living. You know, it could happen to anybody anywhere.
It could happen to anyone anywhere. But like John said, at least this one was solved.
Hey everyone, I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Busted sewer pipes unite a community. Eagle and RAMROD demonstrate true brotherhood. A busted sewer pipe is never good news. It's expensive, can't be delayed, and also can't be rushed. So when RAMROD closed for 4 days last week, staff figured they'd have to lose a half week's pay in the process. Not so fast. Eagle Wilton Manors, which is just about a mile up the street, stepped in. They offered to open their doors early for happy hour and let RAMROD bartender staff the shift. It was kindness and community personified. Eagle owner Chuck King told me, quote, "We had dozens of people tell us how cool this was and how this was what community should look like. It was heartwarming to see so many good comments and watch people come out and support the RAMROD bartenders." Exactly! It's not about competition, it's about community. Community when our enemies are trying to divide us. Community that supports itself. James Tersha, Mr. RAMROD 2023, told me, quote, "This is exactly why the leather community stands the test of time. It has never been just about a building or a logo or a business. It's about the soul of the people who show up when the road gets rough," end quote. Well, once the new concrete cured, RAMROD reopened at 9 a.m. Friday morning. 9 a.m. But yeah, you can't rush curing concrete, or else you're gonna look like outside Chinese theater in Hollywood, right? RAMROD capped its first weekend back last night, Sunday, with a send-off party for Mr. RAMROD 2026, Jesse Nicholson, and he will compete this weekend at IML in Chicago alongside Eagle Wilton Manor Representative Jafar.
I love that.
I just love it. I went there Wednesday night after we did the show and had a beer, talked with the guys, and it was just good vibes all around. There's so many people trying to destroy our community, and to see ourselves build each other up just makes me feel really good.
You know, we're all so marginalized that unfortunately we tell the universe that we don't want abundance, that we're afraid. We're like, oh, please don't take away what little I have, please, you know? There's enough for everyone, right? And the Eagle and RAMROD just basically showed us that. You know, I talked to Alex Tikas today, right? You know, he's always on my show, on the FayWhat show, and he's also one of the bartenders at the Eagle Wilton Manors. And he even said, he was like, when he first heard of it, he was like, oh no, what's going to happen now, right? And that he was wrong. And that, you know, he made friends with these bartenders that he didn't know, that they were not having the best of happy hours, and these were the best happy hours they have had in years. Wow. That they were able to meet new clients and tell new clients about the Eagle, and tell, you know, folks from the Eagle to go to RAMROD sometime. Like, I've never seen a bar do that with another bar, because you're always afraid of patrons, right? You take away my patrons, you're taking away my patrons. That was not the case with these two bars that have been around for, you know, for a while now. And, you know, you got to tell the leather community that there's another leather bar that also includes you. Right. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Yep. And
Chuck, please mention Chuck, because I can't stop saying great things about him.
Yeah, I talked with him. He owns Eagle, and he does Leather Week and Bear Week down here, and he does so much, and that he took his prime time space on the drive. And and sometimes it's, and I don't know about his specific situation, but sometimes it's not as easy. It's like, oh, let's just open early. Your insurance and your liquor license may cover certain hours. So for him to be able to make sure that that everything was above board and was able to come in and do this, and like I said, people were just, they were there, they were hugging, there was some cigar smoking out on the patio. It was just awesome. So thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
Things are tough right now, okay? Gas is super expensive. Everything. Groceries are expensive. Everything, all right? For those bartenders and barbacks to not have pay for 4 days could have completely messed up their month. I mean, bills need to get paid. Rent is right around the corner, right? And they gave them that livelihood. According to Alex Tikas, they didn't even pool tips. It was make whatever you make, please.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It is awesome.
We all need to take note from that, all right?
I'm Kal Gajraj, and let's queer up trans rights. Federal judge blocks DOJ bid for trans youth patient records in Rhode Island. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from obtaining confidential medical records of transgender youth treated at a Rhode Island hospital. This is another legal setback to the Department of Justice's campaign targeting gender-affirming care providers. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Mary McElroy ruled against the DOJ's subpoena request, criticizing the department's conduct in the case, writing, quote, "The administration has publicly characterized gender-affirming care for minors as abuse, directed the Department of Justice to bring its practice to an end, and celebrated when hospitals curtail such programs as a result of this subpoena campaign," end quote. The subpoena sought highly sensitive patient information, including birth dates, social security numbers, addresses, intake forms, medical assessments, and records tied to minors who received gender-affirming care during the past 5 years. The DOJ argued that the records were needed to investigate possible healthcare fraud and off-label prescribing of medications such as puberty blockers. But Judge McElroy rejected those claims, pointing to the administration's broader public criticism of gender-affirming care for transgender youth. The ruling comes as more than 20 hospitals and healthcare providers nationwide reportedly face similar federal demands for patient records. Attorney Kevin Love Hubert of the Lawyers Committee of Rhode Island said, quote, "The government cannot use its subpoena power to intimidate families out of seeking lawful medical care," end quote. This is extremely scary because it shows how this administration will go to the depths of the earth to be able to uncover those who are seeking gender-affirming care or transgender services. There's a thing called the Patient's Bill of Rights. There are things that's called HIPAA.
HIPAA, yeah.
That you should be able to speak to your provider confidentially and get whatever you want. Whether that's gender-affirming care or whether it's, medications or whatever it is. So I really hope that these judges and these lawyers come forward and use what we have, which is the law that we have of this land, against this administration to stop this blatant attack on the trans community.
They keep screaming, protect the children, while trying to rip healthcare away from trans children and terrorize their family. John, correct me. Is this like the third state at this point now that has lost this battle? Basically had a setback, excuse me.
Well, they won. Rhode Island, the patients in Rhode Island won. But yeah, last week we talked about New York and one of its hospitals that had to shut down its trans care, but is still refusing the subpoenas. And then we've talked about Idaho, Oklahoma, Texas, notoriously. They're all coming after kids. And the fact that the judge rightfully sided with trans kids in this case is honestly besides the point at this point. This is all about fear. Because, fear by doctors to see patients and talk about it, fear by trans parents of trans kids who just want to protect their kids and they don't want to be a test case. Nobody's out there saying, oh, sign my kid up for this because their kid's already going through enough. So it's fear. And unfortunately, on the fear front, the Trump administration is winning.
Yeah, even providers. Providers are also afraid of losing their licenses, etc.
Yep.
It's fear all around.
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up gay culture. Long Beach Pride Festival got canceled hours before opening, sparking public feud.
Hi, this is Tanya Martin, president of Long Beach Pride. It is heartbreaking to share that this is final. The city will not allow the Long Beach Pride Festival to move forward. We truly believed we could find a path forward for the past 24 to 40 hours. We worked in good faith, stayed at the table, and tried everything we could to reach a resolution with the city. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The Long Beach Pride Festival has been built by volunteers, sustained by love, and rooted in more than 40 years of visibility, safety, and belonging for our community. We are heartbroken, but we are not going anywhere. The full truth will come out, and we will continue to be transparent with our community. Thank you to everyone who called, shared, and showed up and stood with pride.
One of California's largest Pride celebrations collapsed just hours before opening this weekend. The city of Long Beach abruptly canceled the annual Long Beach Pride Festival, triggering a public feud between city officials and LGBTQ+ organizers. City officials announced Friday evening that the three-day festival could not move forward because organizers allegedly failed to submit critical safety and operational documents required for approval. The cancellation came less than an hour before Teen Pride events were scheduled to begin. On Saturday evening, the city issued a detailed report saying organizers failed to provide approved structural, electrical, security, and site plans despite ongoing efforts to save the festival. However, the city-backed Pride Parade took place as planned on Sunday, featuring DJs, drag performances, live music, and appearances from local performers, including Delta Work, Long Beach Pride President Tanya Martin, known as Les Prez, and linked the cancellation to growing political pressure facing LGBTQ+ communities nationwide. Officials said the city offered alternative venues, including the Long Beach Terrence Theater and Bixby Park, and Mayor Rex Richardson even offered to privately raise up to $50,000 for replacement programming. According to the city, organizers declined those options. Well, that is pretty sad, shocking. It's heartbreaking situation that this happened, especially, during a Pride Month at the very last minute. It just really, it just shows that, you never know what can happen in these type of events, right? You never know.
Yeah.
You think you're doing your due diligence, and you think that you're dotting all your I's and crossing all the T's, and then you get there and they say, no, you didn't do this.
Yeah. No, but
it's confusing.
The timing hurts. And, everybody at this table has either organized an event or been part of organizing an event. You know that it takes a lot of turning wheels, a lot of things that go in motion to make an event happen. All right. This is their 43rd annual. They didn't start this shit last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 43 years, you're not you would have thought by now they would have had this down pat as to make sure to have everything, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Right.
It's sad that this got canceled an hour before it was supposed to start. I mean, come on, send out a press release, send out some social media stuff the day before saying, oh my God, we can't have this Pride. We are so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they were trying to fight for it till the very last second. Who knows? But I mean, Long Beach didn't get the 3-day Pride event that they deserved, that they probably needed right now, and, a lot of performers didn't get paid. Also, so there's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of questions as to what happens next with Long Beach Pride.
Yeah.
But we can't lose a Pride. You know what I mean? We don't have that kind of luxury right now in our community.
Yeah. Well, with so much drama in the LBC, it's hard. It's hard being gay or LBT, but somehow, some way, they will keep coming up with funky ass prides every single year.
Snoop Dogg, huh?
Word.
I got to take that off your Spotify. Kal, what do you think, baby?
Yeah, it's very interesting because, like you said, this event's been going on for more than 40 years. And for this event, from my understanding, is something that the city is involved in. But then the city is coming back and saying that X, Y, and Z hasn't been submitted. So the story doesn't seem that, valid. at the moment. There seems to be things that we're missing.
And the video, the woman in the video said, we're staying transparent and the truth will come out.
The truth will come out. So there seems to be like there's something else that transpired that didn't allow this to happen. And I'm really curious to know because, coming from a corporate standpoint, these prides take on a lot of money to put on. So, and I can only imagine how much they probably fundraise. I know you do a lot of fundraising as well, and a lot of these companies who have then lost out on their sponsorship dollars because this event didn't.
Where are my deliverables? Give me my stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just gone.
And then those people probably won't give them money next year or another LGBTQ organization thinking they might cancel.
Yeah, there's a ripple effect when these type of cancellations happen because organizations will think twice to sponsor a Pride event. Performers probably gave up gigs to perform at this Pride event and then went unpaid. So I think there's a lot more information that's going to be coming out about this.
It's just very interesting that, that it was canceled less than an hour before the teen Pride event. So I'm wondering if there's a connection in terms of like maybe there was a fear or something around teen events because that's been such a hot topic, with our community and the government. So
it could be anything.
Yeah.
We're targeted at every angle, right?
Oh,
Throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, see which one sticks. That's what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that Long Beach Pride figures out what occurred and implements a way for next year for them to come back because again, prides are necessary and prides are important, and we'll bring you updates to the story as they unfold. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up health. Experts weigh the benefits and risks of Clitoxin for sexual wellness. A growing number of women are turning to Clitoxin, an off-label Botox treatment injected around the clitoris, in hopes of improving arousal, lubrication, and orgasm. But experts say the research is limited and results are far from guaranteed. The treatment is not approved by the FDA for sexual wellness use, but it has gained traction as part of a broader movement around sexual health and pleasure-focused care. According to Suzanne Weiss, a sex therapist and resident sexologist at sex toy company Fleshy, quote, people get this procedure for easier arousal and orgasms, as well as stronger orgasms and more wetness, end quote. Aesthetic nurse practitioner Chris Bustamante says the injections may affect, quote, the autonomic nervous system, local blood flow, and neuromuscular signaling involved in arousal and orgasm, end quote. Though he cautions that evidence is still emerging. Experts also warn that Clitoxin is not a quick fix for sexual dysfunction or menopause-related symptoms. Bustamante says, quote, there are no magic shots, end quote, emphasizing the importance of full sexual wellness evaluations and communication between partners. Some specialists believe queer women may be more open to discussing treatments focused on pleasure and body autonomy. Possible side effects include bruising, swelling, infection, altered sensation, and damage and nerve damage if performed improperly. The procedure can cost between $1,000 and $2,500 and typically needs to be repeated every 3 to 6 months. Women, we're smarter than dudes, all right? Let's be real, okay? Dudes inject things into their penis all the time for sexual satisfaction without even thinking about the side effects or things that can happen. We don't do that kind of stuff, women, especially down there. Be careful. And the fact that this is not FDA approved, like this is your personal area, I've talked about ball maxing, when they inflate your balls, right? And there's also like saline infusions for men's penis, to keep them erect longer, etc., right? And that saline just goes right into the body and goes away. For this, there's not enough data. Women, if you're thinking about doing this, get a new partner instead. Okay? That is my advice for you.
I don't want to speak for all women here. Obviously, that's your job. But no, I think part of the reason though that people are looking to do this off-label use is because there's not enough research into women's sexual health and women's sexual pleasure. And so you start going and trying for just about anything you can get.
Yeah.
That said, you got to remember things like Viagra was originally a heart medication, and it quickly became the boner pill of choice, and that got FDA approval toot sweet. So I don't know if this is going to be safe ultimately or not, but let's at least get the research going. Let's get some more, like you said, let's get some data facts in here, because if it does work, there's a lot of people that are going to be helped.
It always makes me wonder how these medical discoveries happen. Because I know people, they take Botox injections all the time. And then it became a trend where it's like, oh, if you're suffering from headaches and migraines, you know that Botox shots would help decrease, headaches and stuff like that. But like, who injected Botox into their roast beef to discover that, this was something that can actually happen, so it's kind of scary when it comes to, these medical, quote unquote, medical discoveries. And then also the long-term effects of some of these things, because we never know what could happen 20, 30 years down the line.
Well, I mean, and they said in the story, done improperly. That means somebody could do this improperly or doing it themselves and causing some really irreparable damage down there.
I mean, that's something that I would never explore myself, injecting anything into my sexual organs. But I think I can understand a little bit of why we might look into something like this for women. But, for me, I think of sexual dysfunction and I immediately go to men because I think maybe women do not. So this is educating me in a way that there are levels of, dysfunction for even women, for this. So it's good educational.
Right. And at the end of the day, talk to your doctor. And if you don't have a doctor that you can talk to, change your doctor.
Yep.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine is back with a swimwear edition for bolder and louder you. Our lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on the hottest swimwear and underwear trends defining summer 2026. From neon micro briefs to sleek mesh styles, this season is all about confidence, color, and unapologetic self-expression. Designers are embracing body positivity, sustainable fabrics, and gender-fluid silhouettes inspired by queer nightlife and beach culture. The feature also highlights how LGBTQ content creators are driving fashion trends faster than ever through social media and festival culture. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, May 21st. It's just in time to be sporting your best swimwear. I mean, come on, Sebastian Beach ain't going nowhere. It's right there and it's ready for you. That's the gay part of Fort Lauderdale Beach, in case you don't know. All right. I mean, and these swimwears are like this swimwear. I loved all the different colors and the great prints and like the mesh, like that mesh I could totally see on you, John.
If I wore any of those beautiful bathing suits in public, I would be called brave. You're so brave.
And nobody wants to be called that.
I don't want to be called brave. I'm just going to stick with my usual summer beach pattern. Commando.
Wow.
Wow.
You want to follow that?
I forgot what I was going to say after that. But I am one of the headless torsos that's on those pages. So thank you, Hotspots.
Yeah. Get Cal to sign that for us.
Right?
I love that.
But the gays take their bathing suits very seriously. It's a whole fashion show in and of itself. Like I have one of my best friends, like he has his swimsuits like custom made from a designer. He like drives like hours.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I knew it. I knew it was you.
Yeah, so he knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, he has a designer friend that custom makes his swimsuits and he'll drive hours to go get them. And they're absolutely beautiful.
And they're worth the drive,
I guess. Worth the drive, yeah.
I've been to some of these photo shoots. During my tenure at the Grand Resort and Spa, I was the marketing manager there. So we had lots of swimwear models coming in during this time of year.
You were very hands-on.
I had to make sure everybody was, welcomed and satisfied.
Did you spritz them with a water bottle?
Whatever they needed, absolutely. But it was fun. It was very energetic, and it's a lot of hours and a lot of time to do things like this, and so you have to give these models a lot of credit to being out in the sun like that, and
Yeah. But it's important. They're doing an important job for all of us. Listen, one magical weekend will be here before you know it. You gotta have the right bottoms for your bottom.
Oh, you're so brave.
You're so brave.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the worldview. Hong Kong's largest LGBTQ carnival scrapped. The big event, Pink Dot, has been canceled for the second straight year. Organizers say they applied for the required licenses but did not get approval from authorities. One venue operator told Pink Dot it couldn't rent the space because of licensing issues. Pink Dot was scheduled for June 14th. Large-scale LGBTQ plus events in Hong Kong have become increasingly rare since Beijing imposed a national security law in 2020. While LGBTQ groups are not specifically targeted, activists say it has become harder and harder to host big events. And that's authoritarian creep. I mean, the People's Republic of China went back into Hong Kong in 1997, promising, two states or, one state, two systems or whatever. But slowly but surely, we've seen civil rights in general, LGBTQ rights, more specifically shrunk,
minimized,
not minimized. Yeah. But not all at once, not with a butcher's knife, but with a scalpel. And it's ugly and it's frightening.
And I feel bad for the LGBTQ plus people there, right? That have had this Pink Dot celebration for whatever years and were able to be themselves out in a carnival. Like, how fun does that sound, Right. And then not be able to do that kind of blows.
Yeah.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up sports. Madonna, Shakira, and BTS to headline first ever FIFA World Cup final halftime show. The FIFA World Cup final is this July, will host its first ever halftime show at MetLife Stadium. Coldplay frontman Chris Martin announced the lineup in an Instagram video revealing headliners Madonna, Shakira, and BTS. Martin, a longtime LGBTQ plus ally, will curate the performances. The July 19th final will raise money for the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, which works to increase access to education and soccer programs for children worldwide. I know how exciting we get for the NFL's halftime show. So, I mean, to have another halftime show to look forward to, is even more exciting because, Shakira, like, who doesn't love Shakira?
Who doesn't want to see Shakira? Her hips don't lie.
No, absolutely. So I'm really excited to see this halftime show.
Yeah. Now it's just a matter of being able to afford a ticket. I think that the ticket for the one game I want to see starts at $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Colombia is here playing Portugal next month. I'll be outside with my Colombian flag like this because I'm getting nowhere near inside. But what an incredible lineup to say Madonna is doing your halftime. Take that in. I get it. FIFA made up an award and gave it to Trump because they've got that kind of money to do so.
Yeah.
They can afford Madonna and all these people.
Yeah. And, remember, Shakira did the World Cup anthem every year. Cup of Life was Ricky Martin.
Yes.
A few World Cups. The 2010 World Cup was This One's for Africa, and Shakira did that. And that was a banger. So I can't wait to see all three of these
Waka
groups
Waka.
together. Hey.
It's inspiring to see that we're seeing a lot of sports, being more inclusive to the, our community and artists and stuff. And it's so happy to see, like, even in South Florida too, we're getting that, from sports. So wonderful. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Gym Queen turns Cannes Midnight section into a campy satire on queer identity and culture. French animated feature Gym Queen is drawing attention at Cannes Film Festival with its cheeky take on queer culture and identity. The film follows gay influencer Jim Perfect, whose glamorous online lifestyle spirals after contracting a virus called heterosis, which turns people straight. As Jim loses his abs, his followers, and interest in queer culture, he teams up with a closeted young man named Lucian to search for a cure. Along the way, the movie satires gym culture, toxic beauty standards, conservative politics, and stereotypes surrounding both gay and straight men. Gym Queen premiered in Cannes Midnight section today, opens across France on June 17th, and is already being tipped for cult status among LGBTQ plus audiences. I just love when satire is just used for, our taking on homophobia and stuff and just, giving it a good jab right back. So I can't wait to see this.
Very South Parky.
Yeah.
But very gay. I mean, South Park is gay as hell. But I'm saying, like, this is definitely gayer.
Yeah, and especially to be part of these film festivals. We just concluded our film festival here in Miami and Fort Lauderdale with the Outshine Film Festival. And I always enjoy just being able to go and watch films that we wouldn't normally be able to see and have access to, gay entertainment.
Yeah. Heterosis. What was it?
Heterosis.
Heterosis.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No, I don't think anybody
Could
ever
you imagine? What a travesty.
Like, if you just woke up tomorrow, boys, and, like, you were, like, all of a sudden straight.
I'm attracted to you?
No.
Can we be attracted to one another?
I mean, of course. But I mean, like, would you freak out? I mean, again, a part of my brain says, life would be a lot easier if you were straight.
It'd be a lot different.
But it wouldn't be more
easier, not necessarily.
I don't know.
And it wouldn't be more fabulous.
It would definitely not be as fabulous.
Yes.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Amazon, MGM's James Bond search fuels calls for first transgender 007. Amazon MGM Studios has launched a search for the next James Bond with acclaimed casting director Nina Gold leading the hunt for the new 007. Gold's credits include Game of Thrones, The Crown, and The Force Awakens. The announcement has once again ignited conversations about queer representation in the iconic spy franchise. Some advocates and queer internet users are calling for a transgender or non-binary Bond in response to the current political climate surrounding transgender rights in the United States. Suggested names include Leo Chang, Elliot Page, Brian Michael Smith, Elliot Fletcher, and Laith Ashley, among others. Laith would be incredible. I mean, I love this. I hope that they choose a non-binary or a transgender person to play 007 just because our current administration's heads would just pop off if 007 was trans or non-binary. And for that reason, and of course, representing our trans siblings and our non-binary siblings as well, I think it's a great idea.
My personal choice?
Who?
Well, first would be Ian McKellen. Obviously, he's awesome. But,
he's not trans.
well, no, I'm just talking about my personal choice.
Oh, okay. Just your personal choice as in you want to sleep with Ian McKellen. I got it. Okay, cool.
But what about Lady Gaga? She would be such a badass.
Again, the story
007.
says, did you hear my story, John? He didn't even hear me. He didn't even hear me, Edward.
I don't see her as a James Bond.
He's just there dreaming about Lady Gaga being 007.
And Ian McKellen.
And Ian McKellen. He went to see Devil Wears Prada 2 to only see Lady Gaga's 1 minute cameo. How?
Even the outrage about this is just beyond ridiculous because it's not that 007 is going to be a trans character in the movie. They're upset that it's just a trans actor that's going to be playing a 007 character. Mm-hmm. And don't they realize that actors always play someone else? Like, it doesn't really matter if they're trans or not, or if they're gay or lesbian or bi or whatever they are. So I think the outrage behind this is just really ridiculous. And it's just very targeted, obviously, to the trans community, because I could totally see Laith Ashley playing 007. Like, he's sexy.
Listen, Elliot Page has been working out, okay?
Yeah.
That dude can do flips and everything. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And it's all his gadgets anyway. It's not really him.
Right.
Exactly.
Just saying.
And the sexy Bond girl.
And the sexy Bond girl.
Yeah.
Octopussy.
Starring FayWhat.
I'm just saying.
You could be a Bond girl.
I could totally be a Bond girl. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, and if it's not, why would you watch this? Share the news with your friends and family. And don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out television network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor. I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat! And I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including John Hayden, Kal Gajraj, and Edward Otto Zielke. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night, everyone.